dream come true. I'm so grateful to God. I was sharing with some people that I almost cancelled that. This event has been in my dream board for a while, but I think sometimes it's easy to put it down, but then taking action is like the harder part of it. So when God dropped it in my spirit a couple of months ago, I thought, you know what always comes to our mind? What if this? What if people don't come? What if people say, what is she going to talk about? There were a lot of what ifs. And so I thought, okay, God, you know what, I'll just do an online one. It's easy. Because I thought, okay, online is easy. And then God said to me, God, that's not what I want you to do. I want a physical one because there's something I'm trying to break. And I realized later that thing was fear. Because, I wrestled with it. I'm like, oh, God, people are busy. There's really not going to be. He's like, just do it. And so my coming here today is that it's called Dare to Dream. And Dare to Dream, the reason why it's called Dare to Dream is because a couple of years ago, I remember I was at work. I was a lot of time when I'm at work, or when I was at work then, where I was working at Shoppers. When I was at work, I used to spend a lot of time thinking. Actually, when I was at work, that's where I got all my ideas. When I was at work, that's where I got all the things that I've been able to birth. Most of them came when I was at work. So I used to spend a lot of time thinking, I'm working and my mind is just thinking. And then I just heard God say to me, why are you letting people put limitations on you? And I'm thinking, what do you mean? And then he said to me that a lot of time you've let people limit you, you've let things limit you, you've let people tell you this is what you can do, this is how far you can go, this is, and he said to me, you need to break out of that limitation. And it was like someone took scales off my eyes, because for me, I didn't see it that way, but sometimes God has a way of just talking to us, and it's like, so he was just saying to me that you need to pick it up and just get out of it. And I started to think, okay, God, I don't really understand what's going on, but from there, after that time, I started to hear, a lot of things came out of it, and I think that was when this book, Dream Big, that was where it came from. Because from there, I just got this anger in my heart and then one thing he said to me was, the same way you sit on those things that I've called you to do, that's the same way a lot of people are sitting on what I've called them to do. And so why am I telling you this? Because I want you to challenge other people. So this seminar is called Dare to Dream because the word dare simply means have the courage to do something. That's all it means. When he says, okay, like when we're little, we used to play this game, truth or dare. You dare someone to do something. So what it really means is, I dare you to step on. So, and prior to this, I had this verse for like a year. I had been pondering over Ephesians 3:20. It says that for God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ever ask or think, according to the power that works in you. But he was saying to me, that power is in you. I've put it in you to believe me for so many things. I'm able to do those things, but are you able to believe me to do those things? And so, for me, it was like an open thing. So my thing really in Dare to Dream is challenge people. This is a good thing. There's so many things that God has called you and I to do. So many. And sometimes we look outward, but sometimes it's even right where we're standing. Sometimes it starts even from our homes, like the little things that God has called us to do. And God is saying to you, this is what I've called you to do. I'll use myself as an example. I've shared this story a lot of times that when I was little, I wanted to write. I used to write as a child, and I had these stories I stored up. I said when I grow up, I'm going to publish them. But you know how it is. Life happens. If I don't know where those stories are now, they're gone, they're somewhere. But I remember when God started to bring up my love for writing again, God took me back to those dreams that I had as a child. So for you and I, there are some dreams that you have that God has put in your heart for a purpose. And I find that it's not even just for you. I find that it's beyond you. Because when God puts things in our hearts, it's more than forget yourself. It's because there are people that are waiting as you obey. I've seen it in my life. When God asked me to start a YouTube channel, I thought, God, who's going to listen? I might not have, I don't have a lot of time, but I remember God said, even if He's only going to bless one person. I've heard people say, testimony and testimony. You started that channel and it prompted me to start a business. That you started the channel and it got me off and I just said, I'm just going to go for it. So a lot of time when God is saying start something, It's not really for you alone, but it might be your children that say, oh, mommy is doing this. God has dropped a dream in my heart so that I can go ahead and do that. So that is the purpose of Dare to Dream. And I just have a few things I'm going to share with us. I want to talk about the tools for dreaming, because everybody has those tools in their hands. Everybody can dream. We all have dreams that God has put on the inside of us. There are things, and I always tell people that dreams are like this. Dreams are like seeds. Dreams are seeds. So those seeds, God has put those seeds in you and I. But what happens with seeds? If there's seeds in this bag, if I keep this bag for 10 years, it's going to remain seeds. It's just going to be seeded. But if I plant this seeds, what's going to happen? It's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to bring forth. For example, look at when you look at an apple tree. Nobody can count. They always say nobody can count the number of seeds in an apple. You can't count the number, because in that apple you have the seeds. When you plant the seeds that in the apple, you're going to have a tree. And then those seeds, that tree is going to bring forth other apples. Then you're going to plant those. So in that one apple, you have seeds and seeds and seeds and trees. You have trees and trees and trees. And that's the same way dreams are. So sometimes the dreams that God puts in our hearts are things that God has said, okay, for your family, I'm giving you this dream to do this. For your children, I want you to do this. For your career, I want you to do this. For your business, this is what I'm giving you. Not because of just you, but because as you start to obey me to do it, I'm going to begin to create opportunities. I'm going to begin to stir other people up in another place completely to begin to do what they have been called to do. So that is the main reason. So the tools that we have for dreaming, the first one is vision. I want to talk about 5 tools for dreaming. Your first tool of dreaming, I see, is a vision. So vision is just seeing beyond the natural. Vision is simply the ability to think or plan the future with your imagination or with wisdom. It's just the things that God has put in your hand. Your vision is like, now you're looking, okay, what is your vision for the next 1 year? For your children, what's your vision? For your family, what's your vision? For your parents, so like I remember Steve Harvey shared this, in that he always had that dream that he was going to buy a house for his mom. But while he was, back then when he didn't have anything, he always said, Mom, I'm going to buy that house for you. The day he did it, his mom was just like, weeping, because he had that dream in his heart that I'm going to do this for you. And what happens that when you plan the dreams that God puts in your heart, you have them. Your vision is what you can see. Other people might not see it. A lot of people don't even see it. When God gave Abraham a vision that he was going to have Isaac, Sarah didn't see it. She didn't even understand it. So a lot of people around us would not understand it. God can give you an idea, which it comes in form of a dream that, okay, I'm going to start this business, and it's going to do this and this and this. And you're like, but it doesn't look like it. I can't see anything. Or maybe he says you're going to buy one house and then you're going to start real estate. But it doesn't look like anything. What I find is that you don't even have to understand it, but if you have the vision, if you put in your heart, this is what you're going to do. What do you have to do? It's waiting for you to step out. I found that until we step out and start whatever He's called us to do, nothing is going to happen. Until we step out and say, okay, I'm going to take this thing. There's a lady, her name is Gigi Butler. I don't know if you know her. They call her Cupcake Gigi. She has cupcakes all over the US. Today she has cupcake stores in about 100. You know about her. She has about 100 cupcake franchise stores that she has. When she had a dream when she was little to be a country star. She said it was funny because even her mom sold her an outfit to be a country star. She said she used to wear it everywhere. Her mom said, "Is this girl okay?" But that was her dream. She said she took pictures and she showed us the pictures. She was dressed as a country star. When she was 15, she started a cleaning business. This cleaning business, she said, because she didn't want anybody to be giving her money, she started this cleaning business, and she was doing it because she wanted to just make money for herself. And she started, when she was 19 or so, she moved to Nashville. Okay, she said, okay, since I want to be a country star, I'm going to be doing my cleaning business. During the day, I'll sing at night. And then she started doing that, chasing this dream of, okay, I'm going to be a country star. But her cleaning business, she was putting, she was investing in it. But she said, it came to a time whereby the more she cleaned, she got so good with her cleaning. The more you practice it, what does He do? The more you're diligent, He puts excellence upon it. She said the more she cleaned, she wanted to be a country star. God began to give her opportunities to clean for people that were famous, the up and coming people. And she said one day she went to clean. She started cleaning for this new couple that moved into town. And she said she was cleaning for them, and then most of the time she gets ideas when she's cleaning the washroom. As she was cleaning, she had this 15-year-old girl sitting on her bed and practicing her guitar. She said when she heard that girl play the guitar, she knew that her own dream was not to be a country star. She knew that girl was the star, because she said the girl's voice, she just knew that this girl is going someplace. That girl happened to be Taylor Swift. She said that day she went home and she cried. She said, Lord, but why? Because I know that as she was pursuing her singing, she was doing her thing, but she was pursuing her singing. As she was pursuing her singing career, they had told her no. But that was because there were other things that God had planned for her that she didn't even know. She said, God, that day that girl gave her a revelation that there were other dreams that were in her that she had been called to do. So you know what she did? She said, oh, you know what, God, this singing thing aside, and I'm going to pursue my cleaning business full time. So she went to her cleaning business. She said she started to employ people. She got people. And then what did she do after that? She said she employed people, and then she put all her effort into it. One day she was cleaning in one of her clients' houses. Her brother called her. Her brother was in New York City. He just went to a cupcake store. He was in a cupcake line for 2 hours. And he said, meanwhile, the butler growing up, baking was there in their family. They used to bake. Her mom used to bake a lot. So she had learned how to bake from when she was little. Her brother said, Gigi, you need to open a cupcake shop. She said, cupcake shop. He said, yes, you do. He said, I've just been in a line for 2 hours, and the red velvet cupcake is not even as good as yours. You need to open a cupcake shop in Nashville. He said, cupcake shop. Who's going to buy it? So, but her brother sowed a seed in her heart. Reminded her of her first love, which was baking, which they used to bake a lot growing up. She said, oh, she thought, really? Okay, she said, but I'm busy. I have a cleaning business. Leave me alone. I'm busy. I'm doing my stuff. I'm in a client's home. She said, but that seed didn't die. She went and started thinking, oh, could it be? Could it not be? Could it be? Could it not be? He said from there, she started testing recipes. She called her mom. Her mom said, yeah, I'll be willing to, because over the years, her mom makes like variety. They have different kinds of topics. He said, okay, you know what? I'm going to come up here. I'm going to help you. They started testing recipes. She said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. So she said, okay, I'll be making cupcakes at night. And I'll be cleaning during the day. I'm going to clean my cleaning day. So she started making, so at night she would test different recipes. Her mom came over and she started helping her. She went to the bank. She tried to get a loan to start the cupcake shop. She said she had very good credit. Her banker, as soon as she mentioned, what are you going to be? What's it going to be? Cupcakes. He just started laughing. He said he laughed for like 5 minutes. I said, are you joking? You crazy? You're going to open a cupcake shop? Who's going to buy it? She said that was it. So she left. So the guy said, no, sorry, we can't give you the loan. She went to the second bank, they won't give her loan. She went to the third bank, they won't give her. She went to the fourth, she said she went to try all the banks she knew. Nobody would give her a loan. She said she took a risk. She said, I'm not telling people to do that, but I took that risk. She took $100,000 cash advance on her credit card. She said that was how much I believed in that dream. Because when you believe in your dream, people would not believe. He said she took $100,000 and she said, Lord, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm just going to do this. And she said she put it into the business. And she said, even when she went to get the building, the guy said to her, she got a good location on the road, and the landlord said to her, what are you going to be selling here? Cupcakes. He started laughing. Are you crazy? Who's going to buy cupcakes in Nashville? Who buys cupcakes? She said, but she knew that God had put that dream in her heart. So you know what she did? She said day one, when they did all the preparations, they were getting ready to open, and she's thinking, God, I just pray people would come. I hope people will come. She said, when she finished paying everybody off for the preparation to start, she had $33 left. That's why she paid the plumber in her account. Said, Lord, this has to work, because I have to pay the rent for my house. And she had the cleaning business, but she said even her cleaning clients, because they were so simple, they said, okay, you know what, Lord, we'll order 12 cupcakes. Wow. We'll order 10 cupcakes just to support her. But they didn't believe in her vision. Nobody believed. But she said on that first, when she opened the cupcake shop, she had all the different cupcakes. She said she was like, she opened the door and there was a lineup. They had done advertising. She said she just said, God. And she said they have never looked back from that day. Today, that was in 2008. She opened February 2008. This is 12 years later, 11 years later. Okay, next month will be 12 years. She has 100 cupcake shop franchise all over the US. She said she only wanted one cupcake shop, but people started asking her, no. People started eating like well, they started telling word of mouth. Then now she's opened 100. She has the states in different states. She has them. She said, but you know what? You have to believe in that. You have to. So she had vision for that. You might not understand the vision. You might not understand how it's going to work. The Bible says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So when you have that vision, provision will come. Don't think of provision first. When I had this to start this, I'm like, when God whispered this to me, I want to start, I said, God, I don't understand this. But he said, you know what? I'm putting it in your heart because I'm sending you, like people that are like you that were sitting down and there are things I've put on the inside of them. You are to stir up those things. You are to stir up those dreams that I have put on the inside of them. And I know that is my job. I'm like a midwife. Stir it up. Whatever God has put. And I find even when I was at work, I'll tell people at work, they were like, oh, Olu, you are here again. I'll tell them, you are 21, you can't just sit down. What are you doing? They're like, oh, Olu, don't leave me. I'm like, no, I won't leave you alone. You're 19. I said, life is so, you're going to be 30 something. You're going to be 50. What are you doing? I said, you need to get up and get going. What has God put in your heart? Sometimes we just need, it's just a little business that He gives to you. Don't think of it as a little business. As you start it, God begins to bring opportunities your way. I said, when I wrote my first book, when I was writing this book, when God put in my heart to write a book, I didn't know how I was going to get it published. But I ran into this company in my husband's office that they were publishers I didn't even know. They invited me to come to an author's fair. I hadn't even written the book, I just had the manuscript. Eventually, they published the book. They got me a sponsor for the first 24 books. They put the book on Amazon. I paid $0 for this book. So, but when God put that dream there, it looks like I don't see. And so we don't have to see what that thing is. The second thing I want to mention is our imagination. Napoleon Hill says that your imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. Your imagination, we can imagine. Everybody has that imagination. Sometimes we just need to just sit down and just think, okay, what do I want to do for my parents when I have this? Let's come out of our comfort box of, okay, I don't have, no. Just relax and just say, you know what? Okay, I have $1 million today. What if I had $1 million today? What would I do? Sometimes you just need to imagine big. Just God said that He's able to do exceedingly abundantly. What dreams are you going to give to God as a blueprint? Our dreams, John Marcus says that your dreams are your blueprint. What dreams are you going to give to God? We might start, even when you are working, you are at work, you are working for somebody else. He's putting a business in you. Start on the side, that business. Don't wait because I'm working for somebody. He might be teaching, he's training you. When I was at work, it was training for things that I need to learn. So when you are working for someone, it's training. He's training us for where He's taking us. So let's not say that, okay, no, I'm just doing my 9 to 5. He's training you. You don't know maybe down the lane. Maybe, down the lane, you are a nurse. He say, no, you're going to open a facility. And He's training you for all the admin. He's training you for everything. Because when you open yours, you already know everything to do. You know, okay, I have to, you already have the people to connect with. So let's see ourselves beyond where we are. Just say, you know what, God, I'm going to step out. And that's why it's a dare to dream. I'm challenging us to just step out of the boat. Step out of, okay, this is just me and I. God, what are you putting on? What are you calling me for? I have my parents. What dreams do I have for them? My children, what dreams do I have? What is the vision I can see in 5 years' time? In 10 years' time? Beyond today. That's the main reason why we're having this. The third thing is we need a notebook and a pen. We need a notebook. Everybody needs one. Because a lot of times, even when you go into your prayer closet to pray, I find a lot of things that I do. God, if we don't write them down, a lot of times we're going to forget. These are tools for dreaming. You need it. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what? Where do I want to go? Sometimes they laugh at me in my house because they know my favorite place to go is Dubai. I've been saying it for a long time. They always laugh at when I go to Dubai, I'm going to go shopping, I'm going to do this. There's no reason. I just had Dubai. I was going to go before we moved to Canada that year, and we didn't go, and I've always had this. Oh, my Dubai, when I go, Dubai will say, I'm going to go with you, mommy. I said, yes, we'll go and then we'll try. Sometimes you just need to just dream. God has put those dreams in us. Yes. For a reason. Let's challenge, even with children, challenge your children to dream. Steve Harvey, when he said he wanted to be a stand-up comedian, his teacher called him. They gave them an assignment at school. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a stand-up comedian. his teacher called him after class. He wrote on the paper, see me after class. Called him after class and said, why do you say want to be, do you have a stand-up comedian in your house? No. No, he said, I want to be on TV when I grow. He said, look at your neighborhood, where do you live? You want to be on TV. Is anybody in your family on TV? No. Is anybody in this neighborhood on TV? No. You can't be on TV. Go and redo that project. He said he took it home and showed it to his dad. I said, Dad, this is what my teacher said. His dad said to him, you have a choice. Are you going to let go of that dream and let your teacher tell you what you can do? Or you're going to take her mark? And then he said, no, he chose to hold on to it. And he went through years of trying and trying, but God began to open opportunities because he said he would not let go. He said now that he's making so much and so much, he sends a TV to that lady, his teacher, every year, every Christmas, so that she can see him, she can watch him on TV. You said I'll never be on TV. So we have to do what? You have that, write it down, hold on to it. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and you can't do. Because people will always tell you, sometimes they even want to do what you have been called to do, but because they don't know how to do it, then they say, oh no, don't even think about that. Oh, that's not possible. So don't let anybody. Have your notebook. And like I was telling you, this I started writing, this is my vision book. 2014 is when I started this particular one. I have things in here. This Dare to Dream is in here in a way. I was sharing with my sister the other day. I've had it on my hand for like 5 years. I want to have a women's day. I have different things I write in there. I just dream, I just write them. And when at the time it looks like 2014. It looks so impossible, but dream. Don't let things around us shape us, circumstances shape us. Sometimes we just need to just say, you know what, I don't care what circumstances I mean, I'm just going to do what God has called me to do. It doesn't matter. A lot of people, if you ask people to step out, like that lady I just said, I showed you, Gigi Butler, everybody told her you can't do it. Today she's a millionaire because she chose to do what? Step out. She chose to step out. She was doing her cleaning business and she started that on the side. And eventually she started to do that full time because that now exploded. So don't let anything go. The next thing is your dream board or your vision board. I have this. So people call it dream boards. Dreams are just goals with a deadline. That's what a dream board is. So you have your dream board, for example, or a vision board. The reason why we have this do a big thing. Like for me, I always say, the reason why you have a dream board, have this. I always encourage your children to have it. Because there are things that they want to do 5 years down the lane. They are like life things that you want to do. Okay, I want to do this, this, and this, and this. You put it on there. Why do you put it on there? Because every time the devil tells you you can't do it, you say, I have it on there. When you put it on there, what do? You begin to speak over it. The more you speak over it, the more you believe it. The Bible says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is it. The more you believe it, the more you begin to take action towards it. So that the main reason for this is because you can put what you want to do. And when you look at it, the first time you might look at it, you might laugh. You can see I don't have to buy on it. It's just a practice one, but it's not mine, it's just a practice one, but I have to buy it. That's not how much I think of it.
Yeah.
So that's just an example. When you put it on there, it might be 5 years, things that you want to do in 5 years time. Put it beside your bed or somewhere that you can see it. You know what it does to you? Every time you look at it and it's, oh, thank God because my business starts. Thank God because I have enough to start my business. Thank God because, oh, I'm going to do this and this. Thank God because I want my children to go to this particular school. And you begin to, it gives you, and then what happens? You begin to dream towards it. Things that you want to see in that, I find that you begin to add more and more and more. And then one day it's going to come, the more you speak over it, one day it's going to come back, and you look and you say, oh, look at what the Lord has done. Mm-hmm. So that vision board is called, it's just like it is visual. It's very visual for you to go to where He's taking you. And the last thing I have for tools for dreaming is your obedient and listening heart. When God gives us instructions, the biggest thing is when He puts dreams in our heart, He says, I'm able to do exceedingly abundantly, but He's not going to come and do it for you. He would not stand up to do it for you. You have to take the step. You have to step out of the boat. You have to do it. He's backing you up, but if you don't step out, there's nothing He can do. So what He's saying is that, my child, I've put the belief in you, I've put the dreams in you, I've put those things in you, I've put those seeds for you to sow it. But as long as you keep sitting on them, there's really nothing I can do. So we need to take a step of faith and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a step of faith and I'm going to run with everything that You're giving me to do. I also want to share, I just want to tell you about this lady because her story is really peculiar. Her name is Debbie Macomber. That's before I conclude. Her name is Debbie Macomber. She is a New York bestseller. She has about 170 books, 770 million books in print. But her story didn't start like that. This lady she writes romance books. She has a lot of. She's a Christian, but she merges her Christianity with what she does. So this lady, growing up, her teacher, in fact, I thought the teacher told her that she told her mom, Debbie is a very good girl, but she's never going to amount to anything. And she said, and she didn't. She barely graduated from high school, but she's always had this dream to be a writer. She's always had the dream, but it didn't come to pass. He said that dream was there. It was there. So she said when she graduated, she got married really young. She had 4 children, and then she said one of her cousins died of leukemia, and she said it was as if God was saying to her, if you're going to live that dream of being a writer, now might be a good time to start. She said that was the thing that stirred her up. And she said it was hard for her. She said for 5 years, 5 consecutive years, her manuscripts were rejected. 5 years. She said she kept sending the rejected, And even to be a writer, she said that she had to write 4 books. That was their criteria for them to say she was a writer. That was her apprenticeship she had to do. But what she was saying was that eventually she became a writer. Today, I don't know if you've watched, I think it's Miracle on 31st Street. Her books are translated into movies on Hallmark Channel. They have her books on there. And today she's a writer. She writes full time. She lives in Washington State. She writes full time. But what am I sharing? She started reading at the age of 10. How many of us started reading at the age of 10? This lady started reading at the age of 10. That's how bad it was. Because she had dyslexia. So she had all the odds against her. So a lot of times, don't think of us. We have odds against us. Oh, and this. And a lot of times we put those odds on ourselves. That's what I find out. Like God was saying, why are you letting people? You are putting limitations on yourself. So a lot of times we put limitations on ourselves. Not even, we put it on, and then people now add to it and say, oh yeah, this is how you are. But today, she's out there. Her books are translated into movies. She's doing a lot. But why am I sharing that story? Because she was able to break the barrier. So when God puts things in your heart, when He puts dreams in your heart, you have to have that listening heart and an obedient heart. Don't try and figure it out. Don't try and understand it. Don't try and say, oh, but what if? Don't try and do that. Just say, okay, yes, Lord, you know what, I'm going to step out. When God asked me to start a non-profit organization, I didn't understand what to. I'm like, Lord, I was at work as usual. I missed work for that because it was my birthing place for a lot of things that I've gone through. I was at work and God just said to me, no, and I started hearing non-profit. I'm like, non-profit. And then I started hearing teenagers, young adults, women. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. Eventually, he broke it down to me and said, I want you to impact women, teenagers, young people that are just, that feel like, and why that group? Because a lot of them are vulnerable. Women are very vulnerable. Teenagers are young adults are there, they're like sponges. So whatever they put in, they soak up a lot. So when he put it in me, I said, how? But I said, yes, Lord, okay, I'm going to do it. And I found every step of the way, I just had to obey. And God was always opening the door. He was always bringing people to help me. He was always bringing people to, even like with my YouTube channel, my son helps me to edit. He does, I don't know how to do all those things. But I found when you just step out, when God says, start that business, all you ask me to do is do what? Make the business cards. Make it, try and give it to somebody. Make the business card, give it to somebody. That will give it to somebody, that will give somebody else. That's your job to do. Do we understand? So that's what he's saying. He's just saying, you step out. Start. When you start, sorry about that. What he says that when you start, make that business card. He's not going to make the business card for you. He's not going to tell your friend that, okay, I was saying to somebody this morning. A lot of times we have things that God has put inside of us. But if we don't step out, like I have a sister here, she's so, when you say industrious, she's so, I don't know the word to use. She goes out of the box to do things. She's very, she's always, but she knows how to get the word out there to say, okay, I'm good at this, and then people call her. They call her all the time. She's always booked for those things. If people don't know that you know how to do that thing, they won't call you. They won't ask you. So what are we saying? You step out of the boat and then let God Take over. That's the word, take over. So that's my thing to you all this morning, just to challenge us that this is a new year, a new decade. Whatever God is calling you to do,
Yes.
you know what? Let's step out. Let's not sit there. Like I said, this is me stepping out of my boat. It's not. Another thing I wanted to mention before I leave here is that it's always most of the time it's out of our comfort zone. Don't look at it through the lens of people. Don't look at it through the lens of what to do. It's always out of our. I like to, I talk, I know that, but I said to God, what am I going to say when I stand there? So a lot of times it's out of our comfort zone. So it doesn't always have to be, comfort zones, when you're out of your comfort zone, it stretches you. Let God stretch you, whatever He wants to do with you. Let Him stretch you. As He stretches you, what happens? Your capacity increases. If He doesn't stretch us, we don't grow. When a woman is pregnant, the older the pregnancy gets, what happens? It always starts to protrude because now baby is stretching and stretching until she's like out there at 9 months and she's. Imagine if we're 9 months and then you can't even see it. So let God stretch us in this season. Let God stretch you. He's asking you to do more hours at this. Let Him stretch you. He said maybe the job I work, nobody wants to take that job. He's getting you deeper in that so you can learn the ropes for where He's taking us. Thank you so much for listening.